There is a person whose life you measure your own against. You have been doing it for 40 years. You did it again this week, at a table, or on the phone, or looking at a photograph someone sent you, and you came away from it smaller than you went in. Tonight I am going to show you what ruler you have been using, and who handed it to you. It was never mine. I heard the thought you had just before this reached you. The quiet one. The one you have never said out loud to a single person, because saying it out loud would make it true. Everyone else is further along than I am. I want to answer that tonight, once and clearly. They have more. They did more. Their life turned out, and mine somehow did not. The marriage that lasted, the children who call, the health that held, the money that came, the dream that actually happened. I know whose face comes up when you think it. Not a stranger, and someone you have known most of your life. A sister, a woman from church. And I know the small daily version, the Christmas letter, the photograph on the mantelpiece in somebody else's front room, the way you brace before asking how their children are, because the answer will cost you something. Do not turn this off here, not at this part, of all of them. I am going to take that ruler out of your hand, but first, you need to see what it is actually made of. Here is the first true thing. Most of what you have been comparing yourself to was never real. You have been measuring your whole life against the polished surface other people let you see, the unedited one, all its private struggles, its hidden griefs, its unfinished corners. You compared your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. Of course you came up short. You were holding the complete and honest story of your life against a carefully chosen glimpse of theirs. The lives you envied had rooms of pain you never walked into. The people you were certain had everything were, so many of them, lying awake with their own ache of not enough. Some of them were comparing themselves to you. You were never actually behind them. You were only ever behind an illusion. Test that against one life you know well. Think of the person you have measured against the longest, and what you know about the inside of that life. The thing in that family no one talks about. The years harder than anyone admitted. The room in that house where the door stays shut. You have always known some of it. And still, when you set your life beside theirs, you used the outside of theirs and the inside of your own. I will come back to that shut door before this is over. Not yet. That is not a fair scale. It was never going to give a true number, and you read its answer for 40 years as the truth about your worth. Sit with that a moment. Stay with me. That was only the smaller truth, and small truths never set anyone free. There is a larger one underneath it, and it changes the shape of the whole question you have been asking. Here is the second true thing, and it is the one that lasts. I did not put you in a race. I planted you in a garden. There is a picture I want in place of it. A race has one track, one direction, one finish line, and someone always ahead of you on it. That is not what I made. I planted you as your own seed, in your own soil, with your own season to bloom. You have been standing next to another plant, in another season, in different ground, asking why you are not as far along as it is. That question does not even mean anything in a garden. The rose does not fall behind the oak. The winter wheat is not losing to the summer lily. Each grows in its own time. Each is exactly on time. The gardener is not comparing them. He tends each one according to what it needs and what it was made to become. Hold the picture a moment. It matters more than it looks. Watch what happens to the question now. If you have spent years quietly measuring your life against everyone else's and feeling you lost, type Amen below. Let it be the moment you set the ruler down for good. I know how many of you are typing it tonight. More than you would guess. Women in quiet kitchens at this hour. Men who have not said this out loud to anyone in 30 years. Everyone certain they are the only one. You have never been the only one. You have only ever been the one who did not know it. Hear what that means about your particular years. An oak at 80 is not a failed rose. It is an oak. At the age an oak becomes what it was for. Nobody stands in front of a 100-year-old tree and says it fell behind the saplings. They stand there quietly. A thing that took that long to grow is the only kind that can shelter anyone. You have been asking why you did not bloom like something that was never planted in your soil. Now let me show you what the measuring actually cost you, because it was not only your peace. All those years you spent looking sideways at other lives, you were not looking at your own. So you missed it. You missed the quiet good that was growing in your own field while you stared over the fence. Breathe with me here. In. My life is not a race. Out. It never was. In. I am not behind. Out. I am exactly in my season. How many mornings of your own life went unnoticed because you were grieving that they were not someone else's mornings? How many things I set beside you went unopened because your eyes were on what I set beside another? Stay with me through the next part. I am handing something back. I do not say this to shame you. I say it because I want to hand those years back to you now. I want you to finally see what was always there. Your life was never the empty one you thought you were comparing. It was full of me, full of small daily mercies, full of moments that would have undone you with gratitude, if only you had been looking at them instead of at the fence. Let me name a few of them, since I know you never will. The friend who called you first when something went wrong, because you were the one that person trusted. The neighbor who still remembers a thing you did 30 years ago and has never mentioned it to you. The child, or the grandchild, or the one who was not related to you at all, who is different now because of a single afternoon you have long since forgotten. There is one more cost, and it is the one you never counted. You have no idea how far your one life reached. You were counting the wrong things. There is more, and it is the part that turns the whole fear over. Stay for it. Think of the ones in my book whose timing looked wrong to everyone watching. The workers who came to the vineyard late in the day, in the story I told, and were given the same wage as those who had labored since dawn. My generosity is not calculated by how early you arrived. The ones who felt they had wasted the whole morning were welcomed and paid as fully as anyone. Think of the ones I raised up in their old age, after everyone had written them off, and did through them what I could never have done through them at 25. Watch how often, in my whole book, the one who seemed behind was actually being prepared, and the one who seemed ahead was simply earlier. Not better, not more loved. Earlier. You have grieved the things you did not get, and the grief is real, and I do not wave it away. But hear what I am telling you about them. Some of them you did not get because I was carrying you around a weight you could not see attached to them. Some of them you did not get because I had something else for you, something quieter and truer that would not have fit inside a life crowded with the things you envied. And some of them have simply not come yet because your season is not another person's season, and yours is not over. What looked like falling behind was, in more of your life than you know, being walked along a different and better road than the one you were staring at. There is one more thing about the measuring, and it is the reason it never let you go. Comparison costs the enemy of your soul nothing, and it steals everything. It takes a life I blessed and convinces you it is one you should resent. It takes my generosity and makes it look like my stinginess, simply by holding another person up beside you. Do you see the trick? Nothing about your life actually changed when you compared it. The same blessings were there before and after. but the comparison stole the joy of every one of them. I want that joy handed back to you tonight. Let me speak now to where the comparing cuts deepest. One of these is yours. To the one who looks at other people's families, the full tables, the children who visit, the grandchildren nearby, and aches over your own quieter house. I know that loneliness, and I am not going to wave it away, but the fullness of a table is not the measure of the fullness of a life. And I am nearer to you in your quiet house than you have ever felt me to be in anyone else's crowded one. To the one who watched others prosper while you scraped and worried and went without. You are not behind because your accounts are thin. Some of the richest souls I ever knew lived in the smallest houses. What you gathered in trust, in dependence on me, in the daily bread you had to actually ask for. That is a wealth the comfortable often never learn to hold. To the one whose body failed sooner, who watched friends stay strong while you grew frail, and felt left behind, even in that. Your worth was never in your strength. Your season of weakness is not you falling behind the strong. It is you being carried closer to me than strength ever carries anyone. Two more, and then I will tell you the last thing. To the one who is the last of your circle still here, who has buried the ones who knew your whole story, and now measures your life against people who never saw the half of it. You are not behind them. You are the one who was given the years to carry all of it, and I have never once let a single memory you hold fall to the ground. And the last of them, which may be the one that is actually yours, to the one who simply feels, in a way you cannot attach to any one thing, that your life amounted to less than it should have. You are not qualified to weigh your own life. You see only the smallest part of what it touched and meant to me. Set the weighing down. Let me be the one who measures it. It was not less. It was never less. Now the deepest thing, the one I kept for last. Watch what you have actually been counting. You thought the goal of a life was to accumulate, to gather more of the things a life is supposed to have, and to have gathered as much as the people around you, or more. So you measured your worth by the pile, and next to some piles yours looked small. The pile was never the point. I did not make your life as a container for accomplishments. I made it as a place where love could grow. Love given, love received, love returned to me. And by that measure, the only one that survives past the door, your life has not been behind at all. Here is what I have been counting instead. Every person you loved, every kindness no one saw, every hard season you walked through, without letting it make you cruel. Every night, you chose to keep believing, when stopping would have been easier. That is the true wealth of a life, and you have been building it the entire time you thought you had nothing to show. One more turn waits under that. I will come to it. Hold that. There is one more turn under it, and I will come to it. Follow that measure, all the way to the end of it. The lives you envied will set every bit of it down at the same door you will, and carry through only what they loved and who they knew. On that side of the door, so much of what looked like being ahead will turn out to have been running fast in the wrong direction, and so much of what looked like falling behind will turn out to have been walking slowly toward the only things that last. The first shall be last, I said, and the last first. I did not say it to threaten anyone. I said it to comfort exactly the person you are tonight, the one at the back of the line, certain they lost, who is closer to the front than they could possibly imagine. But there is one more thing I have not told you. It is the reason the ruler always found its way back into your hand. Stay for it. Breathe with me once more. In, I was never behind. Out, I was only ever his. In, my season is my own. Out, and it is exactly on time. Come back tomorrow and the day after. A habit this old does not break in a night. You will need telling again, until you believe it. There will be a new message here every single day. Subscribe and turn on the bell, so this voice can keep telling you whose ruler to trust. Look at the golden stream now. See that it is not one stream but countless streams, each one a life, each flowing its own winding course toward the same sea. Yours is there among them. It is not shorter, not slower, not behind. It is simply its own, bending through its own country, catching the same light. And at the end of them, a doorway of warm light standing open in the dark. Walk through it, and there is no ranking on the other side, no one ahead of you, and no one behind. The whole idea of behind will fall away like a coat you no longer need, and you will not believe you wore it so long. Now the thing I held back. You believed that comparison was a way of finding out where you stood, that if you could just see how you measured up, you would finally know what you were worth. But comparison could never tell you your worth, because your worth was never relative. It was never a matter of more than or less than anyone. Here where your worth was actually set. I did not price you against the room. I set your value before there was a room to compare you to, before the first other life existed that you could be measured against. Your worth was fixed and infinite, and not open to negotiation, in the moment I decided to make you. Nothing anyone else has or does can raise it or lower it by a breath. That is the freedom I carried to you tonight. You can stop measuring, forever. Not because you finally came out ahead, because you were never in the comparison at all. So do not walk into tomorrow measuring again. When the old ruler comes creeping back, and it will, out of habit, hear my voice underneath it saying the truer thing. Not you are behind. Not even you are ahead. You are mine. And that was always the only measure that meant anything. One last thing, and then I will let you rest. And there is one more thing, and it is why that ruler kept finding its way back. You were not really measuring yourself against strangers. You were measuring yourself against one particular person, and there was a sentence you waited your whole life to hear from them. Not tonight, tomorrow. Come back, and I will say it. You are loved. You are seen. You are mine.